So now this is your girls recording. Let's go ahead. Let's start up this next damn reaction, shall we? Now, Tommy NFG, shout outs to you, gang. The most annoying people, gender wars. I feel like this is already gonna piss me off. But let's go ahead, let's watch it. Without further ado, let's get into the next video, y'all. Let's do it.
What a lovely morning. I couldn't have woken up in a more positive mood. Now let's see what positive discourse is being talked about online. Because everyone knows Twitter and TikTok are places where cordial and respectful conversations happen.
This is a very
Yeah.
unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think if you're in a serious relationship with a girl, she should not have an Instagram. That's cheating.
If I ever get pregnant with a
Honestly, anybody it is that follows this nigga's wording, I'm looking at you very differently. You know, that whole red pill content side, just not the biggest fan of it. Do what you gotta do if you want to go ahead and, like, you know what I mean? It's just not for me. I'll pass.
Say it anyway. I think if you're in a serious relationship with a girl, she should not have an Instagram. That's cheating.
if I ever get pregnant with a son, I'm returning it to the sender because I don't want to raise one. I
Keep going. You can't divorce. I mean, that's not a real thing. That should be outlawed. You legally actually should not be able to.
If I have to pick between being alone in the woods with a man or with a bear, I'm picking the bear every time.
Another day. Waking up every day and seeing grown men and women argue about this all the time will never not be annoying. It's like no matter.
Bro, this is why it is like regurgitated conversations on Twitter will just have me at the point to where it is I'm just muting the words that's slightly of the same thing. It's like, gang, how many times it is y'all gonna talk about the same exact shit? Like, let it the go. It's so annoying. They're regurgitated conversations. Hell, I had people it is I was dating that had the nerve to ask those level of questions and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't do all that stuff. And then when I say it is that I don't be listening to podcasts like that, I really don't. There's some podcasts it is that I do, but there's other ones, a lot of them just be, a lot of people don't deserve to have mics in front of them, okay? And they feel like it is what they're saying is accurate. And these niggas will eat that shit up and be like, yeah, this motherfucker's spitting facts. Meanwhile, the whole shit is garbage. That's why I'm like, I love Twitter, and I'm always going to love Twitter because of like the jokes, and it, like I could go on that app and I can find something that makes me laugh, and I go about my day. But anytime where it is like shit is getting too serious, it's just like, yeah, nah, I'm cool. I don't even want to be near that.
No matter what I do, it stumbles onto my social media feed somehow. Like a virus that can't be stopped with any drug, antidote, vaccine, or anything. And I'll first start off with the men's side of this whole gender war. One of the main reasons I can't take this gender war serious with the men's side of it was when I learned there was a hierarchy for men or some shit. Alpha male, sigma male, beta male.
Yeah. If you a man I had an ex that did this. If you out here calling yourself, oh, I'm an alpha male, like I don't have to deal with none of this, and this, I am already looking at you unserious as fuck. My theory is that real men, don't even have to sit there and preach about the stuff it is that they're a real man. You know what I mean? They just show that within their actions. Anytime it is you start strong arming or trying to argue with a girl and stuff like that, I'm looking at you a little weird. You know what I mean? Because there's certain things it is like, and then there's because obviously people like us women, or we're listening to Shira 7, which I listen to her. I like her vids. I'm cool with it. Now, where she says sprinkle, sprinkle. Now it's drizzle, 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 drizzle. And it's like, all right, bro. Any guy it is that's like, oh, I'm in my soft boy era. I'm cool on you. I'm cool on you. I'm sorry.
Like are you a getting male or a making money male? That's the only thing that matters. If you're one of these dudes that sits down and studies these breeds of men like you got a test the next day, you need help. Like you'll hear dudes say,
man, there's no point in even being in a relationship really until you're alpha male material.
Honestly, just claiming yourself as the alpha male is cringe as to me. And the funny thing is, there's so many different types of men a girl will go for anyways. And then they started adding medicine terminology to it. Red pill, blue pill, black pill. Like there is no way you navigate the world with an imaginary pill on your mind. A lot of these dudes in the gender war always argue that they want a more traditional relationship and all girls are hoes nowadays, so we're screwed. But you're acting like every girl is Ice Spice. If that's the only girls you run into, then you're probably the problem. And for the whole
Most likely, yes. But then on top of that too, I feel like people, when they say it is traditional roles, or if they want a woman to be within traditional roles, then you have to be the man of traditional roles too. That means it is you got to be out here paying all the bills, being the gentleman. You know what I'm saying? All of those things. But then when we say that, that's when it's like, oh no, but like y'all women, y'all just want us for our money and what we have, this, and this. Yeah, that's the whole point. It's literally the whole point, gang. It is. Niggas had to sit there and prove to a girl's father it is that he was a provider, a fit to be married, sent off to be married to niggas, and now niggas is trying to strong arm that, like saying, well, I'm getting in return. At this rate, if this is what it is, we going down. If this is how it is that things are going to be, count me out. count me out. Y'all can have that. I can be single by myself. It's okay. I'm A-okay with that.
traditional relationship, you know, stay-at-home wife who does the cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids. I have no problem with both sides agreeing that's how they run their relationship. But if you're saying this and working at a goddamn Walmart or McDonald's, you are not included in this conversation. Like 99% of relationships cannot work like this in modern times. Families can barely even afford to live together with their salaries combined. So if you're going into a relationship with this mindset and can't provide, your whole brain gotta be rewired. If y'all are working the same hours of a grueling 9 to 5, you can't expect all the chores to be put on her. If anything, I feel like it's less manly if you don't know how to do simple chores like cooking and cleaning. I genuinely wonder how y'all have survived all this time without learning these basic life skills. These are the first things my parents started teaching me as a general life skill to survive. Like, you know,
Hey, to be fair, there are some men, especially West Indian men, and maybe even some foreigner men as well, that they know how to do these things, but they expect the women to do it. I have this conversations a lot with a couple of my Jamaican friends because they're solid cooks. They know how to cook. They know how to make gourmet motherfucking meals, but they want to find a woman that makes the same essence of food as like their mama. And it's like, unless it is this woman just happens to be West Indian or just knows how to cook West Indian food, even if you could come from the same island, everybody's cooking gonna be different. So unless it is your mama's giving gems to the shorty, let's be a little realistic here, gang. Let's be a little realistic. But yes, there are some things it is that both men and women and my thems, they should very much be able to do on their own. You should be very self-sufficient. If my policy is, especially me being an adult, talking to somebody else that is an adult, if I have to tell you how to adult or stop leaving certain things like on counters or pick up after yourself, or when you're cooking things, clean up after yourself, if I had to tell you that, then I don't take you serious. Because if you don't take your own self serious, how am I supposed to look at you and be like, this is a provider man? Nigga, you can't even provide for yourself. Let's be realistic. And it works the same way with women too. You know, you can't be sitting there and asking for, oh, I want a man to be this, and this, but like you got a wig that's halfway glued upon your fucking head. You know what I'm saying? Like your room be dirty, you be smoking Black and Milds, and you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got no proper job, and you can't even just go ahead and take care of basic needs. It works both ways. It do. You know? But we'll get to the women's side.
Some shit you could use if you're in the jungle and have to survive for your life. I feel like y'all really only complain about this because you saw it on Fresh and Fit or something. And that's another.
Oh my god.
Like y'all really only complain about this because you saw it on Fresh and
These two. I've seen a podcast episode of these two, and I was not impressed. Based off of the stuff it is that they're saying, you could tell it is that certain things it is that they say is like, I can kind of understand where you're coming from, and then there's other times it's just straight bullshit, gang. I don't know what the fuck both of y'all niggas is talking about. And most of the time, it be this nigga saying this shit on the left, but then this nigga on the right be just co-signing this shit, and that shit pisses me off.
Fit or something. And that's another reason I can't take this gender war serious with men, is all these goofy podcast clips I be seeing. Like, I'll see some points that are valid and be like, okay. Then the next clip after will be like, and fellas, that's why we have to ban women's rights. What the f are are you talking about, bruh? Where did this shift come from? That was the main way Andrew Tate was getting big. Yo, Andrew Tate in the big 2024 is crazy. I can never take these podcast dudes seriously when they've never been in a stable relationship in their life. You'd have a
bro. And they like just sit there and say it is like, oh, you're not in a stable relationship. You should be giving like advice and stuff like that. Nigga, neither are you. Neither are you. Neither are you. Shit is crazy. One got temper problems and the other one don't know how to not shoot up the club. Damn.
better chance getting hit by lightning than finding these dudes in a happy marriage. About 99% of women are gonna see what they say online and bolt out of there immediately. Looking up to these podcast dudes for
There are a couple of what I like to call pygmishas and Barbara the Builders that will look at that and be like, oh, he just needs some good coup. And, you know, I'm going to cook a meal for him and I'm going to go ahead and do this. Shut your ass the fuck up. Shut it up. Shut it up. Stuff like that I'll be seeing. I'm just like, what are we talking about, bro?
Riz advice is the most cringiest thing of all time, because really think to yourself, did anyone, whether it was your dad, uncle, or older family member, ever look up some advice from Fresh and Fit before marrying and having a kid? They just went with the flow, bruh. They didn't have a whole football layout to it. Also, dudes will complain about all these women posting their standards online, but y'all low-key be the same way. Maybe not as crazy as the trend. I'm glad that trend's dead. But you'll want the IG looking model who can take care of the kids and cook while also making 6 figs a year. Meanwhile, you out here built like Peter Griffin working the Target register. Knowing your playing field is the most important thing as a man. Not everyone can be in the D1 league. Some of y'all gotta stay in tranny wheels. Like, if you don't got a chance, bro, being in her comment section putting heart eyes is not gonna woo her. That's a one-way ticket to the block list. The amount of down bad dudes I'll see in even a regular girl's comment section is concerning. You got like the
And this is why it is. I'm gonna say this. Yes, that is very accurate. Y'all be in a girl that they do, because y'all do it to me. Y'all be in a girl's DMs or comments doing these hard eyes and stuff like that and thinking it's like, oh yeah, this is the one. It's like, gang, it's not the one. Now you're just pissing me off. It's that. But y'all men will do this to very subpar women. And I am not sitting there to disparage anybody when it is that I say this, but you know for a fact it is she's okay. And then you build up these egos. It happens on both sides of the spectrum. Y'all build up these egos for people it is that are that cannot handle this, that are actually very sauceless. Okay, extremely sauceless. Got attitude problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that y'all hyping up these people that really don't deserve to be put up onto these pedestals is the reason to why it is you get these gender wars. You get these people it is that feel like, oh, well, I'm the prize. Well, and then men are saying it is like, oh, well, no, it's me. I'm the prize. I'm the prize. No, I'm the prize. And it's back and forth exchanges. You know what I mean? It's like, let's calm that down. I don't build people ego. People do it all the time. Even if you don't realize it is you're doing it. A lot of times it is people like their ego stroked, and especially I will say more the men than the women on this one. But both sides of the spectrum love a little ego boost. And if they can't get it from somebody, it is that either one has checked the energy from the beginning, or in other cases like, well, this girl requires a little bit too much work. I'm going to go to somebody it is that I don't even have to do half of the stuff it is that I'm doing for this girl who's playing games, and she's going to let me in every single time. And that's what messes it up. She's a 1 out of 10, but y'all adding the O's to make her a 10 out of 10 to boost their self-esteem. Right, exactly.
Page all you want, stalk the page all you want, but being in the comments is a different level of sad. Now let's move on to the women's side of it. One of the main reasons the women's side of it annoys me so much,
if anything, it's not even the ones it is that you know that be in the comments you got to worry about. It's the ones it is that you don't see. That'd be the motherfucker that be in the guts. It's the one that don't be in the comments that be really just tearing down some fucking walls, bro. It's that person in particular. You know what I mean? Now us women, we gonna like and stuff like that, but with dudes, I've realized like, you know, they may like, but they don't have to do all the extra stuff. That's the whole thing. They see it. They see it. They see like, look at these niggas. Look at these niggas in the comments. Hard eyes. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, like I want to be friends with you and stuff like that. Not even realizing this. I'm piping the out of her. Stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Which is how acceptable it is to just on men. There could be no types of criticism made, no types of points made. A girl could just post a TikTok saying, I hate all men, and the whole comment section is erupting like a soccer stadium.
I heard last year, someone told me about this. My ex told me about this. Because we was having a conversation about his pregnancy. And he's just like, oh, I would be more sympathetic on some of the things it is that's going on with women during pregnancy. But this is the same gender that has the hate all men or GG unalive men group. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with me? Have I said that before? Like, no, you haven't said that. So why the fuck it is are you saying some shit that doesn't even equate to what the fuck it is I'm talking about? That's actually a thing on TikTok. That shit is so crazy to me. That shit is actually was on TikTok. Projection is boy. That's a whole nother story. That was actually on TikTok. That there was women just going around just spewing out they hate men. It's like, why? You seen this nigga in your comments? Don't even know. I'm piping they favorite IG crush. Wow. Wow, Babs.
After a goal. You couldn't pay 10 Dunkin' Donuts to have more glaze than those comment sections. I'll never forget online when hashtag kill all men was trending. Like, how does this resolve anything? You think a dude that's a chronic misogynist is gonna see this and go, you know what? My ways were wrong. The way I think how all women are disgusting, the way I was angry all the time about it, from this day forth, I'm a new man! And then if you call out them being misandrous, they go ahead and reply with, obviously not all men. Clearly if you were offended, then you must be one of them. Then change the message name! I don't even understand the logistics of biologically hating a whole gender. Like, first off, without that gender, you wouldn't have been splooged into existence. And that gender gave you basically everything you used to make that post. The Wi-Fi you use, the internet you're using, the phone you use, the app you
Okay.
used to post it. I could never go online and just type out I hate all women because that would be disrespectful to all the good women in my life. I'll see girls in happy relationships, even happy marriages, and they in comment sections typing out how horrible men are. If you thought men were so horrible and such terrible creatures, why'd you get with one for a lifelong commitment?
No, it is a true statement. It is a true statement. That's why I was like, I'll give you that. I thought I was like, nah, they're right. This splooge is crazy. Yeah, I know. Splooge is insane. As if like we don't be out here birthing kids, you know what I mean? Yes, y'all have the seed. Y'all have literally these seeds to plant. With the whole process of, you know what I'm saying? Like just growing that and then also just, birthing life, that comes from us. It's both sides. Both sides are responsible for this. Both sides are very responsible for creating life.
Excuse for all of them is, it's not the men they're friends and family with, it's just every other man after that. Does your family and friends just got a special gene or something different from every other man? A lot of women in the gender war argue that they can't find a good man and men used to be better back then, which has got to be the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Men have been adapting better and better with each generation. For every new generation, they've been understanding the ways of how a relationship should run. Even in marriages, more guys would do something like getting couples therapy than the past. Ask a man married in the 60s if he'd do that and he'll spit at you for even assuming he would do it. Like if you want to go back to the 60s so they can sing you love songs then beat you when you burn the lasagna, go ahead. If you're saying this also while having 50 things listed on what you need in a man, just go ahead and hang the white flag up, bruh. Maybe that mystical man will appear in your dreams or a superhero movie one day.
Some of the things is very unrealistic that would be on these lists. I'm gonna be very honest here. Some of these things is like, the biggest thing it is that most women will say is that a man has to make a certain amount of money. Now, I want this to be very clear. Unless it is, let's say, for example, you come across somebody that is just like a YouTuber or a content creator or basketball player or whatever the case may have you. Out of all of those, it's unrealistic on both sides, but I'm gonna start with the women first. You're saying it is that you want a man that is going to be making this amount of money, but on average, men don't even touch close to 100,000 until middle age, which is going past 35 years old. So unless it is that you're going for older men, it would make sense for you to go with older men if that's the case. But let's be really realistic here. Men and men especially, that they don't have the same level of the um not like the ladder when it comes down to that. I made a 100 a
I
year.
made 100 a year. I am up now.
Hell yeah. But now that's like a small percentage within it by itself. It's either they come across that to be lucky within their younger ages based off of either like whatever their career path is or through middle age. That's already a 10% tax bracket as it is. Now, if you're trying to get somebody within that 10%, what makes you think, you within your mind, think that that man who is that 10%er is going to choose you? You have to show that it is that you can able to attract that level of a man. Let's be really serious here. Let's be very realistic. Most men really don't be able to touch certain money like that until it is their middle age. And you're talking about something between 40 to 50. You know what I mean? That's why most of the time that men around those ages, they get the cars it is that they want. They get the houses. Like they actually have money to do certain things more than what it is that they had beforehand. So unless it is you're trying to go older, let's be realistic. And then now going for men, when it comes down to some things with women, a lot of times it's very biased because you've had a bad experience, or you classify all of us because of like that one girl that broke your heart in like in the 8th grade. It's just like, come on, gang, let's be serious. Let's be serious. Let's be very serious here. And a lot of times it is these men don't be taking care of themselves. Again, like what I said before early in the video, if a woman has to constantly think it is that like she has to keep telling you what to do, internally in her mind, she's not looking at you as a man. She's looking at you as a child. And anytime it is that a woman looks at a man as like a child, then that severity is not there. You trying to buck up and be like, hey, listen, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm this, and this. She in her mind saying, no, you ain't. You know what I mean? I'm talking about you want a 1% type of man, but you out here dressing like Sexy Red. That too. Dressing like Sexy Red. You spill niggas' secrets. You're not this man's confidant. He can't come up to you and talk to you about his problems. You know what I mean? You don't even go ahead and give a proper gift to this nigga. I'm gonna go ahead and give this nigga this pussy at the end of the day. Sometimes it is a nigga just needs some goddamn food, goddamn it. A food, a hug, a conversation, a word or something like that. Like, damn. Sometimes it is y'all don't, unless it is if there's coochie involved, y'all don't have not a single thing it is that y'all can give to these men. If there was no coochie, no mouth, how are you gonna keep this man? That's this stuff like this it is I hear about, and it pisses me off every time.
But he ain't real. Then you got girls saying they won't settle for a man nowadays unless he hits the 6 figures. A girl will just turn 18 and immediately suspect it because some girl said it on TikTok. The percentage of dudes making this while young is in the 0.1 percentile, and who says those dudes even want?
He said men who make above average money ain't settling for a below average bitch. I'm sorry, ladies. The feminist movement lied to y'all. The feminist movement was not an issue. It is that we needed to adapt. That was, I hate to say this. I'm sorry. I hate to say this, but I've done a lot of research when it comes down to this. I used to call myself the feminist and everything, and I am still very much for women's rights. Let's not get that twisted. I still very much are for women's rights equally, please. But that feminist movement was not a black issue. That was a white woman issue with her man. And then we took onto those ideologies, and it was just like, oh, well, we don't need no man in the house and stuff like that. And then the introduction to welfare and all the other stuff. It's like, that was not a thing it is that we had an issue with. We was on code. We was on code before the shit. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but you're right though. Yeah. And that's why where I'm just like, hey, look, I don't want this to come off wrong because somebody will hear this and think it is like, oh, I'm like misogynistic or something like that. I am not. I am full-fledged for women's rights. I fight very hard for women's rights. I've worked with a lot of Planned Parent groups and all that other stuff for years, 4 years, 4 years. I am very much for education, but I'm gonna say this, Linda. Those those radical feminists and their issues with men is not our issue. We have with all the stuff it is that's going on between black men and black women, then we need to be together. You feel me?
Want you. How would you even search for a specific man like this? Do you have a GPS leading to him? The average salary in the US is $63K per year, and you think a dude who just came out of high school or college is gonna have that? And a lot of the words used are genuinely just toxic. Use them as a wallet, sis. Teehee. Oh, so it's all men. They can vanish into existence, but when you need some money because you're too lazy to work, that's when they're cool. Also, girls in the gender war will come up with the stupidest arguments I've ever seen. Like, there's this whole trend on TikTok of asking women who would they rather be in a forest with, a man versus a bear. And the logical response, of course, is a man, because a bear would tear you from limb to limb. But in almost every comment section, you see a slew of women replying with, well, a bear, of course. I mean, the bear wouldn't chase me down the street at midnight. The bear wouldn't try to snatch me and throw me in a van unwillingly. Apparently, to all these girls, every man is Griffith or Epstein. Like, is there not a single good man in your life, family, or friends, something? Who are y'all running into on a daily basis? It must be absolute villains. This type of is no different from the alpha dudes who go online and say every girl is a hoe. A regular dude could see this and literally lead down a rabbit hole of hating women. I know this because I'll get mad at seeing this dumb then realize like 5 seconds after these women are not real people. They just exist in the digital landscape.
This is the problem it is I was having. Remember when we was reacting to those kick streamers that is getting exposed for the things it is that they talk about? I said that then, that these younger boys, these teenagers and young men, they'll watch these streamers and they'll watch content creators or whoever, a podcast or whatever the case may have you. They'll watch these things of men disrespecting women in all formalities, right? And then they will take that same ideology, treat their sister that way, treat their mother that way, their grandmother, their aunties, other women it is that's around them, and thinking it is that women are soft. And I'm going to even say this, there's even foreigner men that will go as far because of traditional norms and things it is that they were taught. They think it is that, what's up, Stefan? They think it is that women is more the weaker gender. And I want this to be very clear. I don't give a fuck what it is that you thought it is that you saw, or who said it is that you could able to say that. You come to me with that level of disrespect, you will hear my mouth. Okay? You'll hear my mouth. Please don't try that with me. That's one thing it is that I will not tolerate, is disrespect. And if you go as far as disrespecting women, thinking that shit is acceptable and cool, you'll never get any type of woman. You don't deserve any type of woman. If that's what it is you think that is cool, that is funny, then it's really you at the end of the day. I'm gonna say that. If you think it is that disrespecting women, calling them out of the name and saying all these things like this, if you think it is that that's funny, or you think it is that's gonna get you some type of poomsy, that ain't gonna work for you, gang. And for the women it is that go ahead and give these men a little bit of the coup, that's for you too.
And a lot of times I notice that anytime a girl does step up and say they disagree, they immediately get called a pick-me and sent to purgatory to rot. So it's either you glaze with all the other girls or you're shunned into purgatory. So overall, the whole gender war thing online is the most corniest of all time.
Yeah, it is.
Y'all can argue all y'all want, but y'all are the exact same people in reverse. You would have think this argument would have ended after like elementary school and girls and boys thought each other had cooties. But I'm glad to know we haven't changed as a society. Amazing progress. I feel like the best way to combat this is anytime you see a post of one of these things, just put not interested in the post or ignore it, because you know you're gonna be mad when you see it already. Or go into it thinking these people don't exist in real life. I hate to see people in real life end up with these chronically online takes, because it just shows that this virus is spreading. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and
Absolutely.
TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
Hey, Tommy, I appreciate you for the video. You know what I'm saying? So men and women are both strong in their own areas. We are meant to complement the other by design. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the perfect way. That's literally the perfect way to say it. People have mob mentality. No one thinks for their own damn selves, and it's so sad. Yeah, yeah, I agree to that. Babs put that perfectly. You know, we are meant to complement each other, realistically speaking. So the whole like gender wars thing is just kind of weird. You know what I mean? But and Tommy, shout outs to you again. Thank you so much for the video. Shout outs to y'all in the chat, and shout outs to you at home. I'm curious to know what it is you're gonna say in the comments. So I'll catch y'all in the next video.